Badger fans, we got a dude on the show today. We're going to talk about Hayden Jones, what his game looks like, and how it translates to Madison and Big Ten basketball. He's joining the show. Coming up next.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is good, Badger fam? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day. Really do appreciate you for tuning in. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Herrings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's FanDuel.com to get started. And listen, when we get good guests on, man, we just jump right in. We are joined today by Hayden Jones, Badger commit coming from New Zealand, Badger basketball. Hayden, man, I want to just start with the game because I feel like a lot of Badger fans, when they see products from the States commit, they get more film. They know the game's maybe a little better. They know the name a little bit better. How would you describe your game?
I guess that I'm like a versatile guard. Play the two guard most of the time. Fairly big, so I found myself in bigger situations playing up against taller guards, taller bigs even. So yeah, like to score, but also like to get my teammates involved. So yeah, that's basically it.
What's the biggest jump you've made in the last year with your game? Like, what have you been working on, and where have you seen that improvement in the last year?
Probably just like my physicality and strength. Playing against bigger guys and strong competition has been really good in helping me improve in that kind of area. So, and lots of gym work has been real good. But yeah, just being able to play more physical with older and bigger guys, I suppose.
We had a couple questions we're going to throw into, but this fits for this segment. Brett asks, ask Hayden what he views as a strength of his that he could bring to the court as soon as next year. So maybe not next year, we'll see. But what's something that you think could maybe allow you to play a little bit earlier?
I guess maybe just my ability to guard multiple positions. I feel like I have the ability to guard a point guard down all the way to the three guard or the three. So maybe just my versatility. Yeah.
What do you like defensively? I know a lot of people. Listen, I've interviewed people on this show. They're like, "Yeah, I'm a dog. I get after it." And then we see them get to Madison. And not everybody is. Like, what are you like defensively?
I guess I'm pretty physical. I just enjoy it really. Just being able to get up and in and apply lots of pressure is kind of what I enjoy doing. But definitely, what other people would say, I'm more of an offensive player, but I'd like to think that I've had a huge step up in my defensive game as well.
Just continuing talking about the game here. This is from Buckingham. He's asking, what are you focused on right now, like improving? Where's your next step to level up?
Probably just my ball handling and just handling pressure. But yeah, that's definitely improved over my off season, which is at the moment. So just ball handling and kind of just getting heaps of reps up.
I'm always like really interested in the process, right? Because you're working on ball handling pressure. What does that look like for you in a week? Like, how much time do you devote to this game every week?
I like to get in the gym every day, but things have been happening around here, so I haven't been able to recently. But I am working with my local men's team at the moment. We're beginning in lots of work with just training, scrimmages, and just getting shots up and stuff. So that's been real good for helping my game.
One of the things watching film of yours that I found really impressive was the mid-range ability. You coming off curls, you're working mid-range, using your footwork to that kind of like little post fade away over people. Where did your mid-range game come from? Because a lot of players now, just the way the game is gone, it's scoring at the rim or it's shooting threes. For you, you got a lot of mid-range action in your game.
My dad was real big on the mid-range. He used to play, so the mid-range was a big part of his game, and he kind of just really influenced me to make it part of mine. I guess being a bigger guard helps being able to shoot over I guess, taller competition. So that's really it.
You a better shooter than your dad, or are you guys still like going back and forth?
He's pretty good shooter. I'd have to give him the edge, but I'm getting there.
Give me the 20-second scouting report on your dad. What was he like as a player?
He was a pretty good shooter from the three. Around the same height as me. We play a little bit different, but he's more of a pull up mid range, 3-pointers. That's better. Yeah.
Talk to me about those other aspects of the game. Like the mid range is great. Where are you at as like a 3-point shooter? Are you where are you most comfortable at as an offensive player on the court? Like, how does those other parts of your game look right now?
The 3-pointer has been pretty good recently. Been getting lots of reps up with that with my men's team, so that's getting better. It was all right this year. Could have been better, but it's always something to work on. But I'd say I'm pretty comfortable shooting the 3-pointer. Yeah.
And what about ball handling? Like, what is every player, every offensive guard has like a move they love, like their go-to move that other teams have to scout. They have to take that away. Some people it's that hezzy, some people it's that cross step back. Like, what is your go-to move? Like your favorite move?
I like to have I don't like to dribble straight away. So I like to catch it off just in my hands and then kind of a couple jabs, but nothing really too flash.
I love it. What's going just back to the defensive side of this? I'm curious how much Big Ten basketball you've seen. Like when you see kind of those players, is there anything you're picking up? I guess offensively too, but anything you're picking up defensively, offensively when you watch the Big Ten basketball and you watch Wisconsin play?
I guess it's just quite fast to what I guess I could say I'm used to, but yeah, just being able to play with the pace and kind of poise that they play with is pretty impressive. But just being able to kind of understand that I'll need to, guard faster people and probably more physical. Yeah.
Coming back with Hayden Jones after this, what brought him to Madison? How did he end up at the University of Wisconsin? That's coming up on Locked On Badgers. But first, a quick break for our great friends of the show over at FanDuel. FanDuel's incredible. The fastest, easiest way for all your sports betting. The number one sportsbook of the NFL, of the Locked On Podcast Network. And it's because it's fast. It's simple. They have all the action you want. Live betting on the NFL. Playoffs are coming up. There's NBA action, college basketball, college football playoffs are still going on. This is a great time to get started over at FanDuel.com, the official sportsbook of the Locked On Podcast Network and the NFL. And right now, new customers with a $5 bet can get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed if that $5 bet wins. That's $150 in bonus bets guaranteed if your first $5 bet wins. You're not going to beat that anywhere. Great action. Great lines, parlay spreads, teasers, great user interface. It's simple, it's clean, it's easy to navigate. All that over at FanDuel.com. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets guaranteed if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL and the Locked On Podcast Network. Okay, let's get back into this conversation with Hayden Jones and talk some hoops. Well, let's talk about the journey to Wisconsin then. There's an obvious connection. You being from New Zealand, Kirk Penny on the Badgers coaching staff. What role did he play in getting Wisconsin kind of interested in you and you getting interested in Wisconsin? And then what was the next step there?
Kirk actually played quite a big role in my recruitment. He kind of reached out to my dad because they used to play basketball with each other for New Zealand and other teams. So he kind of reached out to my dad after World Cup and kind of said that he was interested in my game and wanted to chat to me further about maybe coming to Wisconsin. And obviously they have a pretty good connection. So my dad was pretty keen on me going to Wisconsin. And obviously that makes me kind of trust Kirk because my dad trusts him. And yeah, Kirk became pretty familiar with. I became pretty familiar with Kirk, and yeah, everything kind of went from there. And it was a pretty quick process, but I knew that it would be the right decision.
What was your first conversation with head coach Greg Gard like?
It was good. It was pretty brief from what I remember, but he sounded, I guess, what's the word? Familiar, I guess, kind of. Yeah, and
Like down to earth, kind of
yeah,
good
yeah,
natured guy.
yeah. And he just sounded like it was the right fit for me. And yeah, he just sounded like a real nice guy.
So a couple of more questions here. This is from JB. He's asking, had you heard of Wisconsin basketball before Kirk Penny or Greg Gard got involved?
Not really. I'm not too familiar with like college basketball over in the States. I know like the so-called big blue blood schools, but not really.
Do you have any idea? And another question we had here, what the level of competition from, like, you were playing on FIBA under 17, those kind of leagues internationally in New Zealand. Do you know how that kind of matches up with the level of competition you'll be seeing in the Big Ten or even in AAU types in the States? You know how that like talent matches up?
Yeah, not really. I haven't really played. I guess I haven't played many competitions outside of New Zealand. So definitely, it's a step up from New Zealand, like my age group basketball to FIBA. But I guess there's still pretty good competition in New Zealand with the men's division called NBL. That's pretty good. So it's been pretty good development with them. But I'm not too familiar with the USA side of basketball.
Talk about who else you've talked to on the staff, if anybody. Joe Krabenhoff. I believe he kind of put together a presentation for you. What was that like? And maybe what was in that presentation?
That was actually quite a while ago. Try to remember all of it, but it was just basically about the school and about the kind of family they've built within the team, and how I guess they are a brotherhood, and it's not all well. Obviously, it's about the basketball, but it's also about getting to know each other and kind of building connections within the team.
What has the communication been like with the Badgers since you committed? Like, obviously you're still staying in touch, but like, are you watching the game still? Like, what is that communication like now?
Yeah, watching the games definitely, but I'm kind of just letting them do their own thing until everything starts to ramp up again, I guess. But I feel like we've been communicating ever so often, but it's more of just letting them kind of focus on what they need to do until it's my time, I guess.
And then just watching the games from afar, obviously. But anything you kind of picked up that you like? Wisconsin shooting more threes this year than they have previously. What have you kind of seen there? Like, okay, I might fit there or here on this roster.
I guess I haven't seen them play in previous years, so I don't know what's been improvements or anything. But I definitely think that the more 3-pointers is definitely something that I'm familiar with, because the teams I played in definitely shoot quite a lot of threes. So definitely that side of the game.
Do you feel like basketball in New Zealand gets underrated a little bit?
Yeah, in some circumstances, there's definitely some players in New Zealand that are, I guess, getting overlooked that definitely should be getting, I guess, a bit more scouting. But it's just harder, I guess, over here with the quite isolated. But there's definitely an improvement in basketball in New Zealand.
What's your next? If you don't have anything planned, that's fine. But do you have like a tentative next trip to Wisconsin plan? When do you think you might be getting back up there?
I'm heading over. My family are going to San Francisco on Christmas, because my sister plays for St. Mary's in San Francisco. So we're going to go there for Christmas and then head over to Wisconsin on the 1st or 2nd of January, and then spend the official visit there.
Oh, phenomenal. What do you think you're more likely to do? Ice fish or snowmobile?
Probably snowmobile, I'd say. Yeah.
You're not getting out on a frozen lake?
I do enjoy fishing, but I don't know about the frozen lake part.
Listen, there's great summer fishing too. Like, you're going to get an absolute awesome amount of that as well. So no worries there. I got a couple lightning questions, kind of rapid fire questions if you're good with it.
Sure.
All right, let's knock a couple of these out here. What's something about New Zealand that nobody, if you haven't lived there, you wouldn't know, that is absolutely awesome?
Probably just the nature. I guess it's not all just massive buildings and massive cities. Like the place I come from, it's not overly big, but the nature's pretty beautiful. Nice beaches and kind of lakes and rivers even. So I guess just the scenery and the nature is pretty beautiful.
I got this question here from Ron Weasley. Favorite New Zealand cuisine? What's your favorite food out there?
I don't know if we have many like specific New Zealand cuisines. The only one I can think of is it's called a hangi, but I don't overly enjoy that. So
What is it?
it's basically it's heaps of cooked meats and vegetables, and they dig a hole in the ground and then put all of them and wrapped in tin foil, and then basically cook the food underground, and it comes out pretty nice. But I'm not too huge of a fan of it, so probably just like a pizza or a burger.
Well, listen, you're gonna fit in just fine in Madison. That pizza burgers, it's gonna be totally good. What's your pizza burger like? Is that your comfort food? If you gotta like eat something, just man, that I can't wait to get that. Is that it?
Yeah, that or sushi. Quite a fan of sushi. Yeah.
Okay. What are the 3 biggest sports in New Zealand?
Rugby, basketball, and probably netball.
What is netball?
Netball is kind of like a downgraded version of basketball. So you can't dribble the ball, but it's still you got to shoot it into a hoop without a backboard, and you've got to pass it, and then you can't move with it. So it's basically basketball with less steps.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Best game you've ever played? What's the like the top of your list? I was absolutely crushing at this game.
It's a good question. Possibly, I had a game in, was it last year or it might have been this year, where we were in a semi-final against a team that we thought would be pretty tough competition. I think it was for my age group, and I played pretty well, I guess, that game. Yeah. Just a random out of the blue game.
Let me flip it on you. Is there a game you can remember where afterwards you were like, oh my gosh, that was the worst game of basketball I've ever played in my life?
Definitely. There's been a few of those. But not off the top of my head, but there's definitely been a couple in there. Yeah.
How do you deal with adversity? Just speaking on that, like when something doesn't go right, like people deal in different ways. What is your mechanism?
I guess sometimes just stepping away from basketball, just trying to figure out, do other things that kind of take my mind off it. Whether that's, I guess, playing some games on the PlayStation or going eating food with the family or hanging out with friends. But yeah, maybe just taking a day off and then kind of get back into it the next day and kind of focus on what I need to do to improve and what I did. I guess not bad, but some things that I need to work on in the game, and then kind of just go on from there.
Best player in the NBA right now?
Well, my favorite player is Steph Curry, but I guess he's not the best player in the NBA right now. But I'd probably have to say Jokic.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Guy's a unit, man. What's a hidden talent? Something non-basketball related.
Hidden talent. I don't really have any talents. I'm a pretty boring guy, I suppose.
There's gotta be something, right? But for the people watching, like I don't let like Hayden know these questions are coming, so I am shotgunning it. It is hard sometimes without knowing the questions are coming, but
no, I don't really have any hidden talents. I can do a front flip sometimes.
I mean, listen, that's better than most people.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Last one here. Oh no, 2 more. Sorry. What is your goal at Wisconsin? Like for however long you're going to be there, whether it's a couple years, 3 years, 4 years, you leave. What do you hope to accomplish at Wisconsin?
I just want to leave an impact within the team. Obviously, I want to play and play well and help the team succeed. So yeah, probably just trying to help the team succeed to the best of my ability, whether that's going all the way and winning it, or just going as far as we can to becoming one of the best teams in the nation.
Awesome. Last question here, man. Message to Badger fans: what kind of player and person are they getting with Hayden Jones?
Player, I guess just more of an offensive guard that enjoys playing defense sometimes. Person, kind of, I like to get out and hang out with people. I'm not an independent person, so definitely enjoy getting out and seeing. Would love to see Madison and what it's all about and all the people in there. But can be shy at times, but just kind of have to get to know me, and I'm sure I'll come out of my shell at some point.
Absolutely love it, man. Hayden, thank you so much for the time. We put your Twitter down there, so if anybody wants to follow along, it is linked on this show. We'll also put it in the show notes. Good luck going forward. Good luck on the travel. Make sure it's safe and you get great family time. Happy holidays. Really do appreciate the time, man.
No worries. Thank you very much.
For everybody listening on Wisconsin, thank you for tuning in. What do I think of Hayden's game, and how do I think he wins at the next level? That's coming up next on Locked On Badgers. But first, a quick break for our incredible friends of the show over at Game Time. Game Time's awesome. Let's upgrade our experiences in life. Let's get to the Kohl Center. Let's get to Camp Randall. Let's get to a Broadway musical in New York City. Let's get to a museum. Let's get to a rock concert. Let's go see Aerosmith. Do they still play? I don't really know music. But let's go see things, do things. Game Time is your ticket to all that adventure, all that excitement. Right now, Game Time is the best ticketing marketplace. Flash deals, last-minute sales. You get pictures of the seats before you sit down, and all types of entertainment avenues. That's what's available over our Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the app, create the account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off over at Game Time. Let's do more things in life. Let's have more fun. Let's get to more places. Let's see more events. Let's enjoy more together as a family or just by ourselves. Go do that over at Game Time. Download Game Time app today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege or Locked On, for $20 off over at our friends at Game Time. Okay, let's keep talking a little Hayden Jones. Okay, Hayden Jones, where do I think he wins at the college level? What do I think he's bringing to the team? And where do I think he can really be utilized in the Big Ten and in a grade guard system? I think the first thing is you look at the offensive fit. There's a lot of things he does that kind of fit into what a grade guard system wants to do. A lot of movement, pacing, space, the ability to shoot the ball, the ability to be a versatile piece. This is a player who can pass the ball. He can handle the ball in the pick and roll. As he mentioned in our first segment, he's more of a combo guard, but he can handle the ball still as a combo guard coming off the pick and roll. He was in the New Zealand under 17 FIBA. He was in the 75th or 71st percentile in pick and roll ball handler in terms of points per possession. So he was a player that had a lot of success coming off that pick and roll with the ball in his hands. That's a ton of what they're doing offensively right now. That's a ton of what they do overseas. I think there's a big Kirk Penny element to this with what they're doing offensively and where Jones's game kind of fits. The ability to come off that pick and roll, find different people. He's a good passer, good feel for the game. That's going to fit. The ability to shoot the rock. That's going to fit. Still working a little bit on the three-point shooting. The shot looks good. It looks pure, and he's really good from the mid-range. I think the most impressive aspect of his game is his ability to hit from the mid-range. So you see it from the elbows. You see it a little fadeaways. You see it from inside the paint where he'll get somebody a foot or two off and hit a little fadeaway mid-range shot, 17-footers all on both sides, really, from the wing, the baseline, and near the elbows. Really nice touch inside the paint. And typically, that's going to translate out. If you're hitting those shots and you're hitting shots at a high clip from the free throw line, you're probably going to develop into a pretty good three-point shooter as well. I like the shooting. I like the touch. The other thing I really like, besides the versatility, is pacing. He plays with such tremendous pace. This is a guy who really understands that you can't always go at one speed. He'll kind of set him up with that little lazy dribble and then put it down and stop and shoot. He'll get him into the paint, pump fake, finish. Young players at that age that have that kind of pacing, that kind of patience, the ability to kind of find seams, to find gaps. That's kind of something you can tell his dad played ball, right? You can tell he got that from being around the game a long time. Now, not an explosive athlete, so he doesn't have that. So the pacing is part of something that he needs to have in his bag. But you see it at the highest levels. The players that understand how to switch speeds, how to go from kind of slow to medium, back to medium to slow. Those are some of the hardest guys to guard. The guys that are always moving at the same speed, even if that speed is electric, those guys are easier to guard. You hear about it all the time. You got to be able to switch pace, switch gears, and understand the speed to come around a pick and roll. Understand the speed to curl some action. Understand the speed to get into the paint. He plays with that type of feel from the film I've been able to watch. A few areas of concern. Again, I think defensively, he's going to have to be able to guard wing guys. He's going to have to be able to guard faster guys on the perimeter. We'll see how that works out. Not a great elite athlete. I think he's a good enough athlete, but not an elite athlete. He does show the ability to get to the rim and then finish when he gets there. I want to see more film, but he's going to be taking a competition jump for sure. But good offensive touch, good offensive feel, understands pacing, able to hit jumpers, can pass the ball, operates well in a pick and roll scheme. I think there's a lot there. I think there's a lot there that would fit well with what Gray guard, Kirk Penny, what this offense kind of looks like, which is this really that continuous pick and roll, switching the ball side to side. He can give you some of that, enough size as a 2 guard to hold up. Again, got to get a little bigger, got to get a little stronger, but he's a freshman. Of course he does. So I like the fit. Good offensive looking player. I think there's a few questions defensively, but a lot of high school players coming out of America have the states have those questions as well. So that's not really that unique. And I do like the pickup. And honestly, Kirk Penny is the guy that did the ID here. He's the guy that did the scout. He's also the guy running the offense. He's not running it, but he's been putting in a lot of these offensive tweaks. It probably should make you feel better that he feels like this is a good fit for that offense that they've started to run. So anyway, on Wisconsin, really do appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate Hayden stopping by today. When you're done here, go check out Locked On Big Ten, Locked On College Network, all the latest stories on both of those channels. Go check them out. On Wisconsin, appreciate y'all as always. Happy holiday season.